Next, we have our very own Chancellor, Dr. Lawrence A. Davis, Jr. Of course, he needs no introduction. He lives, breathes, and bleeds UAPB. He fusses at me all the time, stays on me every time he sees me. Young man, you need to get this together. Young man, get that together. I just don't know what else to say about him, but I love him so much and truly will miss him after May 14, 2011. So, please help me welcome Dr. Lawrence A. Davis, Jr.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Brooks. I'm just trying to make you better, that's all. To Chairman Cooper and to Dr. Martin Harlan and her hard-working staff, and to all of you, my sincere appreciation. I was sitting there and I had planned just to say maybe 2 sentences. But after having listened to our students and remembering why all of this is necessary and possible, I just couldn't let it pass without some additional comments, so bear with me. But I like to have a rallying cry, kind of like at the basketball game. You know, let's go big team, hold that line. And so I started last year, as I saw some ominous clouds on the horizons, I said, we need to start accentuating the positive. People were talking about you ought to become a 2-year institution and a whole bunch of other things that were negative, simply because we are carrying out the mission which we were assigned. And I said, we have too many positives to just not accentuate it. You always have people that will play up the negatives, but we need to accentuate the positive. After all, we're the second oldest institution of higher education in Arkansas in the 137 years, and look at you. Look at you. You're part of that positive that we need to accentuate. I remember my dad told me in his later years, he said, son, I didn't know you were listening. But I wasn't really listening for any reason, but I paid attention to my dad. You know, it was the thing to do when I was growing up. And he said, I remember he said, well, son, you know, when you're in a position, there can be 100 things, 1,000 things that you're supposed to do. You can't be doing them all well, Dr. Benjamin. So what people do say, let's find out what they're not doing well, let's hop on that. Just to give you an example, you know, our basketball team went to the big dance, right? We were the only male team in Arkansas, and it took the national champions to put us out. So shortly thereafter, here comes this article talking about our APR. Well, they picked out the one bad year that we had because we had 6 transfer students who didn't qualify, and they became part of the negative. But in all of the other years, our graduation rates were 50, 60%, and the best in the state of Arkansas. In fact, our athletes had an overall GPA of a 3-point. But they picked out that negative to accentuate. So I said, let us accentuate the positive, to talk about the positive things about our university. We will continue to work on those things that need to be worked on, but let's look at the positive. Well, as we went into this year, because of other things that I saw happening, I said, look, we can't be procrastinating. We have to have a sense of urgency. You know, we have to get it done now, not tomorrow. We have to get it done right now. The sense of urgency. And then, for homecoming, they sent me a couple of themes, and I said, wait a minute. You know, we need a theme that fits in with what the overall rallying cry was, a sense of urgency. And as I was sitting there one day, it came to me, said the Lion's Kingdom. The Lion's Kingdom, a sense of pride. And you know, pride has 2 connotations when you use it that way. One is, lions travel in a company of pride. It's a family. We are a family. And second, you can think about how you feel about things, that you're proud of who you are and what you've contributed. So that is the theme, and that's what it means. And I just want to pick out a few things that we need to speed up. First of all, we have a world-class choir. How many choirs you know have traveled the United States, have traveled Europe, and sang in the cathedral in Washington, D.C. last year? How many? All right. And then let's talk about the debate team. You know, the debate team came about, and we need to, tomorrow we're going to have a moment of silence in honor of Earl Wilson, Dr. Earl Wilson, who has an honorary degree from us. He's funeralized, and he's being funeralized tomorrow. But he played a major role in helping us revive our football program and responsible for many students from Missouri being on our campus. But when we were at one of those meetings, and Dr. Martin Harlan will remember, Dr. George E.J. Jones, who used to be principal of Corbin High School, was mighty concerned that we had let the forensics program debate, in particular, language. And he started donating and made us promise to revitalize that program. He said, because there are too many issues going on today that we should be discussing on our campuses, and we need to get that debate going again. You know, I have listened to all of this political campaign business. You know, it is frightening the degree to which people don't reason. And just to give you an example, and I don't know why they won't say, I can say it at my age, I can say anything I want to. But they were talking about, why did they bail out General Motors? It's simple, people. You don't want General Motors, nor Chrysler, nor Ford to go out of business. Not because they build automobiles, but because they build tanks and Jeeps. And they go out of business, and we have to start manufacturing those vehicles again. I guess we could buy them from the people we're fighting, right? Anyway. And then one person said, you know, on those campuses, talking about ours, you know, the discussion is different. And I was kind of angry at first. Now I got to think, yeah, it better be different, because if it hadn't been different, we never would have had the civil rights movement. So, having said that, and then our John Ross players, you look at the talent of these young people, you know, and that's something that we should be very proud of. And then the campus. You have a beautiful campus now. We worked hard on that. Not too many campuses, the buildings, and they all have names. People say, Academic One. I say, I don't know where that is. Do you mean Dawson Hicks, Kane Gilliland, Henderson Young? You know, university, you name the buildings. They don't have numbers. Then we have worked very hard to upgrade our dormitories. We have a living learning center that is unsurpassed, and a second one that's near that. And we were able to do that because of some of the donations that you made. Because we feel like the students at our university deserve accommodations as good as they can be anywhere, you know, on any campus in this nation. The next thing is, we have the top technology in the world. We have IP, Internet Protocol. The same thing now they making everybody go to on the television. That's the reason every now and then you see funny figures on your TV. That's because another signal is coming through that takes precedence. But IP simply means that all our transmissions take place over a single fiber optics cable, and ours are buried 12 feet underground. So that means radio, television, telephone, and everything. And then we just upgraded our radio station to 50,000 watts, so we can be heard almost all over Arkansas. And the young man behind the camera over there is the one that orchestrates our television station, Randy Kelly, does an outstanding job, and we broadcast 24/7. And that's the reason so many people now I know about it. I can't go anywhere. He said, you the chancellor, ain't you? One man looked at me over the counter. He said, you the chancellor, ain't you? I said, yes, sir. He said, you know, I don't watch that channel, but every now and then I pay it back. And then we just hooked up to our own, Arkansas Research Educational Optic Network, which means that we're on the superhighway. We got as much bandwidth as anybody can have to do research and teaching. That's something to be proud of. We are one of the 5 institutions in Arkansas in what they call the Research Alliance. That means that we are the top institutions in terms of research dollars. University of Arkansas, Little Rock, Fayetteville, Med Center, Arkansas State, and UAPB. Our cheerleaders on national TV, and they gave them the 3rd place, but actually they were 2nd. Your band. Now, the band was in the inaugural parade, right? You can only be in the inaugural parade of the first African-American president one time. And because of you, in less than 3 weeks, we were able to get the money so they could go. Thank you very much. We have a championship soccer team, SWAC championship, and we expect them to win it again by Sunday. You need to go by and watch them and cheer them on. Most of our soccer players have been recruited from Canada. They help us greatly with our diversity. And then, of course, we have a world-class track team. Soccer field where we used to play in Pumphrey Stadium is now a beautiful soccer field. Our stadium and field house, and then right across the little gully, the Turner Hunter baseball complex, complete with softball. And we need some more money to finish this and some other stuff to be done. And then the basketball team. Who would have thought? Now they're getting ready to go to Hawaii, and then they're going to be in that NIT Invitational Tournament in January. Then Children's Hall is unsurpassed. I haven't been anywhere on any campus of our type and seen that type of display. You need to be proud of that. We are the featured school for Tom Joyner this month. And that means the emphasis is on giving money to our institution. And of course, we want you to participate. Now, of course, just on our side, you know, people ask me, how did you do it? How did you get Miss Obama here? I said, none of your business. But I can say this. One of the justifications that I gave in our request, number one, Aberdeen College, now the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, is the only place that Martin Luther King Jr. spoke. And that was for my graduation in Arkansas. And of course, we paid a price for that. And now I see people, you know, celebrating and all that, but they weren't celebrating then because he had just led the Montgomery boycott in 1957. It was a very uncomfortable time for all of us. And then all of us know about Roots, written by Ellis Haley, and I'm sure we know that S.A. Haley, the Dean of Ag, that taught me conservation before green was in vogue, is his daddy. And Wiley Bratton was the attorney for the Little Rock Mine. Well, you know, so that makes us very historic. And of course, Mrs. Obama is just the boogie on what? Martin Luther King. And then finally, right after homecoming next week, Dr. Bill Calder will be on campus to do 2 shows and to interact with our donors. Now, I was just saying all of that to help you understand what I mean by a sense of pride. And we appreciate what you're doing for our students. We at Dr. Martin Harlan will tell you that we spend the money very wisely and never other than what you tell us to do with it. We appreciate it very much, and more so, we appreciate what it enables us to do for our students. Thank you so very much.
The next gentleman that will be coming to the podium, he again needs no introduction. I kind of call him my secret mentor. He doesn't know, but I really, really look up to him. Whenever he enters the room, it's always a sense of business, and he's on a mission. Mr. Larry Cooper.
I was sitting there as Chancellor was talking, and I was kind of thinking, I've been coming to these donor banquets for probably the last 12 years, and you always, I think probably we will never ever have another chancellor that can connect the dots and cross the T's and keep us informed in terms of what has happened with this institution. And I'm always, every time I come here, amazed in terms of how he continues to integrate that in his presentation. And I think that's very helpful to us. I want to thank each of you for coming out tonight. I know we had some competition in terms of a basketball game. I know some of my compadres told me that they wouldn't come to this tonight because they want to go to the basketball game. But I want to say to you, thank you for coming out and being a part of this evening's event. I also want to thank you for the contribution that you continue to give to the university. As chairman of the foundation board, we have established for probably the next 2 to 3 years 2 things that we're going to put a focus on in terms of raising money. And we're going to try and keep it out there in front of you. One is the Lifeline Scholarship. And one of the reasons we want to put focus and emphasis on that because of the fact that we can get matching dollars for each of the dollars that you give, a dollar for dollar match. And so we're on a mission to make sure that we can get as much money generated towards that fund as much as possible. And then the other thing that we have kind of adopted from the board is that we're going to take on the initiative in terms of helping the university get this dormitory bill. I think the board, in conjunction with the Alumni Association, going to really, really put some horsepower behind making that happen because that has an exponential benefit for the institution in terms of getting students here, putting them in a quality dorm, and then, of course, that dorm associated with the STEM project just has a synergistic effect that we can't match. And so those are the 2 things that we want to put focus on over the next couple of years. In terms of fundraising, we continue. If most of you in here are like me, over the last 3 to 4 years, if you've invested money or had money invested, you probably have lost some money because of the market, and if you got money in the stocks and what have you. Most of you, if you had money invested, probably have lost money. If you haven't lost anything, and let's say, for instance, your investment has been flat, that's a good thing. And I use that analogy to say, in terms of your giving, it has been a good thing. Because even though we've had a downturn in the economy and we still have some challenges in front of us, you have, for the last 2 to 3 years, given that right at about $2 billion a year. And so, considering that condition, that's a good thing. And I really want to express my appreciation for your giving and doing that. The other thing I'm going to say about is this banquet is always enjoy seeing the talent of the young people. They always, when they come up here and do their presentations and they're singing, whether it's singing or whether it's talking, for me it always says it's worth it all. This is why we give, and when you can come here and kind of see the results of your investments, that make it all worthwhile. So again, thank you for coming out this evening. And our goal for the upcoming year is going to be about $2 million. If we can maintain another flat year, get around $1.8 to $2 million that we've done the last couple of years, we'll be doing a good job. Thank you very much.
Okay, the next individual, I was told I could not give an introduction or I will be terminated from my job. So since I have to still pay bills, I'm just going to say, next we have Dr. Martin Hall.
Good evening. I said that because I know how flamboyant Andrew can be, and he would be a very tough act to follow, so I simply wanted him to tell you I was next on the program, and then I would not feel incompetent after coming behind him. Before we began with awarding the mementos and recognizing you who have given so generously of your financial resources, I'd like for you to see the development office staff. Will all of you come forward, please? You talk to them on the phone, they answer the phone. Sometimes they assist you beyond just saying hello and transferring you to someone else. So I'd like for you to see the people behind the voices that you hear on the telephone. And they're shy too, they're slow about coming up. Renisha, Raven, Andrew has been in the development office, I think, since his freshman year. He was one of our outstanding phonathon callers, and this past year, Andrew was able to secure an internship in the development office, and to a large extent, that was due to your generous donations. Courtney Strickland Seegers began the Pride movement. We've been trying since 1999 to get students involved in philanthropy, because if we don't teach them when they're in school, we can't expect them to graduate and suddenly give back when they haven't been taught to give back. Andrew took it a notch up during his internship, and he got them well organized, like a well-oiled machine, and as a result, we have a number of students giving back to the university. That's good because you hear a lot about the sob stories, and I'll admit we have more sob stories of financial woes than we do of students who come to school and they have no financial need. But even the ones who have no financial need because you provided scholarships for them. But there are other students who do work, they do earn money, and they do buy hamburgers and pop just as you did when you were in school. But when they stop to give back to the university, they are helping their counterpart who may not be able to buy a hamburger or a soda. And that is why we salute Pride, and that is why I really commend Andrew for taking Courtney's concept to the next level. Now, wave. Kristen. Kristen is waving. Kristen has been with us 3 years. 3 years. Victoria Smith. Lauren is a volunteer. We didn't have another position in the development office, but Lauren was so impressed with what she saw happening in development that she wanted to volunteer her time. So please give her an applause, because I can't give her any money. And then on the other side of Lauren is Renisha. She's short, but believe me, she's dynamic. This is her second year in the development office. And on the other side of Renisha is Raven. This is Raven's first year in the development office. We'd like to get them in their freshman year so that we can groom them. And by the time they become a senior, like Andrew and Christian, they're ready to go out and face the world and truly understand what philanthropy is. Over at the table is Libra Rulak. Libra is the assistant director. In my absence, you talk to Libra. I want you to know you hurt my feelings because I got letters that were addressed to Libra. And since I opened all the mail and I read all of those wonderful comments you said about Libra, Libra may not be here next year. Oh, just kidding, just kidding. But Libra does a fantastic job, as you know, because many of you have worked one-on-one with Libra. And next to Libra is Courtney Strickland Seegers. Courtney is the reason that there was a marked absence from the National Alumni Conference this summer, because she got married in July on the Saturday of the Alumni Conference. So some people left the conference so they could go see her break her neck. So she's a newlywed, and we're glad that she didn't decide to go home and just bake biscuits or do something very domestic. There are other development office staff who are not present this evening, but I did want you to see the faces. Shimmy. Oh, there you are, Shimmy. This is Shimmy's first year in the development office, and we're proud to have her. They're all very eager, very pleasant young people, and in order to work in the development office, you have to have a really good attitude, because sometimes some of your colleagues who are not here this evening are not very nice when they call. So it's really good to have young people who have patience and understanding. Some of them are phonathon callers, and they really get an earful as phonathon callers, but none of you are the individuals who give them the earful, and we thank you for that. Thank you, ladies. I ask now that Chancellor Davis and Mr. Cooper join us up front so that they can receive those of you who will be receiving mementos this evening. As they come to the front, I would like to recognize the first club level the contributors list. The contributors list consists of individuals who have given at least $50, a maximum of $249 to the university. These individuals are the backbone of our giving program. When you look at the collective giving power of this group of people, it makes a significant difference in the $1.8 million that we're able to raise each year. So those of you who are part of our backbone, who are our foundation, and are members of the Contributors Club, will you please stand? Okay. The next giving level, did anyone stand? Well, we'll give them a hand in absence. The next club level is the Heritage Club. These individuals join in making that foundation solid and building it to a pyramid peak. They're the individuals who have given a minimum of $250 to $399. Would you please stand? And these are the individuals who give year after year after year. I saw Dr. Abedi stand, and would you stand again, please? He's a professor at the university, but every single year you can count on him supporting the university financially, as well as being an outstanding professor. Sometimes on the higher levels, we get a lot of money, but we get it one time. But as I said, these are the people who give year after year after year, and we do appreciate your gifts. The next club level is the Challenge Club. Our gifts of $400 to $699 this past fiscal year. Would you please stand? Adding to that strong foundation that gets us to that ultimate gift. Our next club level is the Achievement Club, $700 to $1,299. And we're moving on up. Our Honors Club, $1,300 to $1,999. Would you please stand? The Leadership Club, $2,000 to $3,999. Leadership Club. The Dean's Club, $4,000 to $5,999. Dean's Club. Dr. Benjamin, would you please stand again, please? Okay, the reason I'm asking Dr. Benjamin to stand, just in case you don't know, Dr. Benjamin is the Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs. Chancellor Davis mentioned the STEM project and a dormitory. She can tell you about the STEM Academy and the building that is going to become a reality on our campus in 2.5 to 3 years. And she can tell you how to be a part of that success. So turn around so they can see your face and they know who to look for when the banquet is over. Thank you, Dr. Benjamin.
Thank you.
The Prestige Club, $6,000 to $7,999. Will you please stand, Prestige Club? We'll give them a call. And the Chancellor's Club, $7,500 to $9,999. And then we have our major gift donors. The science of fundraising says that a major gift is $25,000 per year. At UAPB, $10,000 per year will qualify you as a major gift donor. So our major gift donors gave a minimum of $10,000, and we had a gift as large as $300,000. Will our major gift donors please stand? And now for the mementos. Mr. Larry Cooper. The Pride Foundation Incorporated, represented by Mr. Jesse Mason and Gail Reed Jones, MD. Dr. Lunzell and Mrs. Letha Branch. Okay, the branches are not present tonight. Dr. Lawrence and Ethel Davis. I think the cat is out of the bag, Chancellor Davis. Now, Mrs. Davis, know that you've been giving away the kitchen sink. Rodney and Dr. Thalia Forte. They're not here, okay. Larry and Carolyn Greer.
I'm representing my wife. So. How you doing? All right, Doc. How you doing?
Betty Love. Anyone from the Kansas City Alumni Chapter? Jesse Mason and Gail Reed Jones, MD. The Chicago Alumni Chapter. The Little Rock Chapter of Links Incorporated. Simmons First National Bank. Oh, the Little Rock Chapter of the Links.
Thank you very much.
Simmons First National Bank. Do we have a representative? Jefferson Regional Medical Center. Kansas City Alumni Chapter. City of Pine Bluff. Trinity Foundation.
And that's the last thing.
UAPB AM&N National Alumni Association. Pine Bluff National Bank, Bank of America Foundation, thank you, Chancellor Davis and Mr. Cooper.
Okay, before we close out tonight, we just want to make sure we recognize some important individuals today in the audience. You have heard from everyone that's here at the head table, except for Mrs. Ethel Davis, our First Lady. Do we have any elected officials in the audience today? Would you please stand to be recognized? Any elected officials? Please give them a round of applause. Do we have any Foundation Fund Board members in the audience? Will you please stand to be recognized as well? I see Mr. Trammell. Any UAPB employees in the audience? Will you please stand to be recognized as well? UAPB employees. Thank you. Thank you. Students, any UAPB students in the audience today, will you please stand to be recognized? All right. Thank you. All those students just happen to be student donors as well for our Circle of Pride initiative. We thank you guys as well. Well, we hope you all enjoyed yourselves today. We hope that you really enjoyed our student presentations that come forward to give you, how can I forget our new Millennium Leaders? I am so sorry. Will you please stand to be recognized? We definitely thank you all. Well, if there's nothing else, we'd like to thank you all for coming out. Please drive safe. Thank you all for coming and have a great night.